If you've ever had a crush so big you couldn't even form a sentence, then you'll probably relate to Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Meet Alya Mikhailovna, a stunning Russian, Japanese beauty who turns heads wherever she goes. But don't let her striking appearance fool you. Alya is known for her icy demeanor and unapproachable attitude, making her the aloof princess. She's the type who coldly rejects any suitor who dares to get too close, leaving a trail of heartbroken admirers in her wake. Yet, here's one person who seems to slip through the cracks of her tough exterior. Masashika Kusei, and basically she in love with Masashika. But there's a twist. Instead of confessing like a normal person, she gets all nervous and ends up speaking Russian every time she talks to him. And Masashika, he's no fool, he understands Russian. So imagine this, Alya is basically pouring her heart out in Russian. And Masashika just nods along like he's reading the weather forecast. Alya's freaking out, thinking she's being super secretive, but Masashika's just sitting there, probably thinking, did she just say she likes me, but not saying a word? Despite Masashika Kusei's clumsiness, Alya can't help but find it amusing. She casually remarks in Russian how cute he is, not realizing the twist. Masashika understands every word. Blushing from the compliment and maybe some pop-up situation, he starts imagining confessing that he understands Russian, but quickly pictures Alya turning into a red tomato from embarrassment. Masashika, the otaku, shows Alya a picture of a cute moon goddess from an anime with silver hair. Alya, also rocking silver hair, casually remarks, "I'm silver-haired too, you playboy." Caught off guard, Masashika awkwardly pretends not to understand what she just said, his face turning red. Classic move, but we all know he's sweating on the inside. While Masashika and his friends are eating in the cafeteria, the student council walks in. And let's just say they're not your average council members. These beauties are the new standards for school royalty. Among them is Maria Mikhailovna Kojo, Alya's stunning older sister, and Yuki Su, who has a secret so extraordinary, it'll blow your mind later on. As the group talks about the new student council members, they're in for a surprise. The council decides to share a table with them, with Yuki Su sitting right next to Masashika. Noticing the closeness between Masashika and Yuki, Alya can't help but asks their relationship. Yuki, with a big smile, cheerfully replies, "We're childhood friends since kindergarten." But just when things seem too perfect, Masashika's friends, unable to handle being near such stunning girls, quickly stand up and announce they are done eating. As they discuss the student council elections, Alya learns that Masashika was once the vice president, with Yuki as president. Jealousy sparks within her, and she blurts out in Russian, "I know him better than you do." Before they part ways, Alya points out Masashika's closeness with his female friends, but he simply replies, "You're also my friend." With a small smile, Alya walks away, secretly pleased with herself. In a flashback, Masashika remembers his childhood Russian-Japanese friend. Because of her, he studied Russian to communicate with her, but he can't even remember her name now. Talk about a lost memory. The next day, Alya arrives at school to find Masashika already finished with the cleaning. Seeing him work so diligently, she wonders if it might snow in summer. But Masashika notices her dirty socks and thinks she must have stepped in a puddle. However, it turns out she got splashed by a truck passing by. As Alya starts removing her socks, Masashika quickly averts his gaze, his shyness kicking in, and maybe something else too. But Alya, ever the tease, playfully asks him to grab her socks from the locker while swinging her legs. As a reward, she demands that he put the socks on her. Though still bewildered and feeling the tension, Masashika reluctantly agrees, though he's sure others might think differently about this situation. Alya openly admits that this whole situation is a reward for her too, but of course, she says it all in Russian. Masashika is still puzzled by why she always hides her feelings and thoughts in Russian. He wonders if maybe Alya just enjoys teasing him, or worse if she likes showing off a little skin. But Alya doesn't make it easy. She keeps calling him a wimp and teasing him, enjoying every second. In an attempt at revenge, Masashika insists on putting the socks on her, even when Alya changes her mind and says she'll do it herself. Shocked and flustered, Alya starts wiggling as Masashika pulls the socks on, both of them caught in an awkward, yet oddly playful moment. In a flustered moment, Masashika accidentally places his hands, somewhere they definitely shouldn't be, earning him a solid kick from Alya. He spent whole day trying to apologize, but, in his embarrassment, he accidentally slips up with his words, his apology turning into something entirely different. The situation quickly turns into a game of running and chasing, and after a while, both Masashika and Alya are panting, trying to catch their breath. To ease the tension, Masashika offers her a red bean drink, her favorite. She takes it gratefully, her mood instantly improving. But in a playful twist, Alya offers him a drink in return, teasing him in Russian. Masashika, thinking this might be his chance for an indirect kiss, hesitates. Alya, proud of herself, grins and proudly says that Masashika clearly didn't understand her. But, as it turns out, she's definitely mistaken. In the storage room, Masashika and Yuki playfully acted like a cliché couple, laughing as they cleaned. Alya walked in, her eyes narrowing at their closeness. Muttering in Russian, she complained that Masashika should focus on her instead. Masashika froze, turning red as he caught her words. After the cleanup, Masashika joined the student council presidents for dinner. The president invited him to join the council, but he declined, citing his middle school experience. Yuki proposed they run for president and vice president, only to discover Alya was also running. When Masashika arrived at his apartment, he found Yuki lounging on the sofa, reading manga. It was then revealed that they're actually siblings, otaku siblings, with Masashika as the older brother. In the morning, Yuki pounced on Masashika, teasing him about having a sister complex. He called it domestic violence, so Yuki warned him playfully that she will hide underneath and grab his leg. She teases him that he might get something standing up. Yuki and Masashika were shopping for new dresses, when they both spotted something silver out of the corner of their eyes, Alya, staring at them intently. While Masashika was figuring out what to do, Yuki immediately approached Alya, making him scream internally. Yuki invited Alya for lunch, expecting sweet curry, but at Hell's Cauldron, Alya was shocked by the spicy menu. The siblings loved spice, so Alya stubbornly ordered the spiciest dish, refusing to back down. Noticing Yuki's dress as a bit boyish, Alya asked about it. Yuki casually replied that she had been lying in bed with Masashika and wanted to try something different. The room fell silent, and Masashika spit out the water he was drinking. Masashika tried to explain everything. The tension broke when their order pools of blood arrived. Alya's face twisted at the sight of the spicy dish. One bite later, she was tearfully calling her mom in Russian for help. Spice levels through the roof, but still tried to fake enjoying it. After Yuki left, Masashika saved the day with ice cream, cooling both the heat and to lighten her mood. She insisted on running for president, saying if there's room for improvement, she'd take it. Then, in Russian, she asked Masashika to run as her vice president. Alya asked Masashika to go shopping, but he reminded her that only couples pick dresses together. Realizing she had no other friends to go with, she convinced him to tag along. Alya's fashion show to fluster Masashika backfires. His smooth compliment leaves both of them blushing and totally embarrassed. Alya cycles through outfits cute, classy, and daring while Masashika keeps the compliments coming. But when she strikes an alluring pose in a sultry outfit, disaster strikes. Her sibling Yuki walks in. Mortified, Alya mutters in Russian about wanting to vanish into thin air. On the train ride home, Alya was lost in her embarrassment until the siblings suddenly got off the train, leaving her puzzled why both had dropped at the same spot. At home, Masha teases Alya for pouting whenever Masashika comes up, wondering how she even became friends with someone so unserious. In a flashback, young Alya takes a school task seriously, investigating local shops for an excellence award. But her lazy teammates slack off, leaving Alya to do everything. Despite her efforts, the group fails to win the prize that broke the young heart of Alya. In middle school, Alya becomes classmates with Masashika. Like everyone else she meets, he's no exception. He doesn't take his studies seriously. As the school festival approaches, the class gets busy. Alya vents her frustration about their classmates, but Masashika reminds her that to succeed, she needs to motivate everyone. No one can do it alone. In the end, Masashika convinces Alya to go home and rest. To her surprise, everything goes smoothly as he planned. Everyone in the class actively participates. On festival day, their ghost booth wins the Excellence Award, thanks to the group's teamwork. The night ends with an after-party folk dance. Alya finally finds her way to Masashika, but he teases her for not knowing the steps. In a slip of the tongue, he mentions she's called the solitary princess due to her aloofness. In truth, Alya hates being called a princess, believing she's worked tirelessly and with all her heart. After a while, she thanks Masashika for helping her realize that she can't do everything alone. As a token of gratitude, Alya decides to do something for Masashika, but he makes a bizarre request to call her by her nickname. Given her reputation and admiration from others, it would make everyone envy him. Suddenly, a group of men approaches, inviting Alya to dance. Though she admits she doesn't know how, they persist. Sensing the tension, Masashika grabs her hand and leads her to the dance floor. Her heart races as they run. He teases, claiming she could dance just by watching. With excitement filling the air, Alya eagerly accepts the challenge. But the next day, Masashika returns to his old lazy self, much to Alya's frustration yet admiration. Defeated, Alya blushes and reluctantly agrees, confirming that Masashika is indeed reliable and trustworthy. Masha nods, agreeing as she sees her saw in the same light, reliable and trustworthy. After listening to Alya, Masha concludes that both she and Masashika are falling for each other, even as Alya denies it. Masha insists that friends to lovers is the way to go, just like her and the person in the pendant she calls Sa. The next day, Masashika visited the student council office and met Alya's older sister, Maria Mikhailovna Kujo, the SC secretary. She asked him to call her Masha, as a friend of Alya. Masashika was stunned seeing Masha up close and asks his given name. There she realized something and muttered Russian, but Masashika pretended not to understand her. The two went out for supplies, but Masha got distracted by plushies. She chose a white cat plush, claiming it reminded her of Alya. At the tea store, Masashika offered to hold the plushie but got awkward when Masha called it alien. The moment brought back memories of his past, his parents' divorce, him living with his dad, and Yuki staying with their mom. Noticing his pained expression, Masha tried to comfort him, but it turned chaotic when Masha spilled the hot tea on him.
If you've enjoyed this so far, drop down below and show us some love by liking, subscribe and sharing. Next chapter will come out soon enough if not already, but for the meantime, check out our other videos on the screen. I highly recommend The Daily Life of the Immortal King. The link is in the comments section below. Thank you for watching until the end. Subscribe for more videos like this.